one hope to save her.
Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Persistence Enhanced. The Persistence Enhanced is developed and published by Firespite Games. It comes out on 6/24/2021. I currently don't have a price for it, but the original Xbox One edition of the Persistence is $30 on the store, so I'm going to guess that it's going to be in that realm. Alright, so the Persistence is a roguelite, survival horror, stealth, first-person shooter type of game. The original version was an ID at Xbox title, and this is just an enhanced edition of that particular game. I did not play that original game, so I don't really have anything to go comparatively to, but I do have it on the new version here, so we're going to do this particular game and kind of base this review completely on this, not knowing what the original game was like. So this particular game is interesting because it has a Dead Space sort of feel, because you're kind of in a space horror-filled game with weapons of lots of varieties, and you're going to have all sorts of different types of equipment that you can use in order to help you. I've also seen that some people have compared this to System Shock, as a game I haven't played, so I can't really say. And on PC, this has VR, which I think this game would be a lot of fun in that particular type of setting. However, it doesn't apply on Xbox, unfortunately. But the game does have that Dead Space feel to it, to me, with all the different types of weapons and things, and also the different type of equipment that you can use in order to kill enemies and do different things. It almost has, like, if you took Dead Space and you took Bioshock and you kind of threw them together and some weird jumbled thing, that would be kind of what this is. I don't know if that's a really good indication or not, but that's kind of how I feel about it. At any rate, some of the weapons, you have just standard kind of guns, and then you also have these different types of weapons that will actually get harvest material, DNA and stuff, and also other items and things from enemies, if you can keep from being spotted, at least. You can also utilize the map's setups in order to kind of sneak around and try to sneak up on enemies. The enemies in the game are kind of stupid in some sense, but not completely stupid. To the point where, like, and then, well, so I'll say that they're stupid, but then occasionally I would scan for enemies and wouldn't find any, and I would take 2 steps and then there'd be 3 on top of me. So I'm not sure if that's because I need to upgrade my scanners, which I think is probably true, or the fact that the enemies should be, if they're that close to me, then they should be able to be seen even with a basic scanner, I would think. That said, this could also just be applied to some of the glitches that exist in the game, because it is a fairly glitchy mess of a game. To the point where I was literally standing, like, around, and enemy would just randomly seem to spawn nearby and come get me, especially when I was in a room that seemingly I thought was locked. So I'm not exactly certain as to why that would happen. I will say this, that I had already looked at the room and didn't find any enemies. Like, I looked through all the little corridors and everything, and I didn't see anything. And I had done some scans and didn't see anything, and then an enemy popped up and killed me without me noticing. And then a couple of times the game actually crashed for me on the Xbox as well. I do have a Xbox Series S, so that shouldn't be a factor. But it does appear to have that issue some, so keep that in mind when you're deciding if you want to purchase this. I will say that the game has a lot of things in it that I really enjoy, and I really wanted to like this game quite a bit. But I felt like a lot of the bugs and things, and also kind of as I got deeper into the game, like the amount of XP and stuff the enemies would have just like ramped up at an exponential level. And while I was taking a lot of time to like search around and try to find stuff, I didn't feel like I was being, rewarded comparatively to like how the enemies were ranking up in quality and things. And I wasn't dying too much. I mean, the game is kind of designed to have you die a couple times at least, but it was just somewhat annoying that I would go, like, 20 minutes into a level and then get my ass kicked by a random enemy that I didn't see, or that glitched into or something of that nature. And so that was sort of annoying to me. It's not game breaking, but it's if you're gonna, knock me out when I'm 2/3 the way through a level, then maybe, have some, ability to get back to where I was relatively simply, especially when there's glitches in the game like this one. But overall, I do somewhat enjoy the game because I like the general aspect and idea of the game, and I'm not exactly certain what's enhanced compared to the original game. I would assume that there's, well, according to the game notes, they've improved the lighting, particle effects, and other refinements. And I'll say that the lighting in the game is, so low that, without using your flashlight in the game, you can't hardly see anything. Now, I don't know if that's just my TV settings, but I typically keep my TV settings pretty light, so that was a little surprising. And there was no option in the game to change those settings at all, so you're kind of stuck with it unless you want to, manipulate your TV some. But even then, it didn't seem like it brightened it up very much. So this is a very dark game to begin with. And that's probably by design, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But, I mean, if you're relying on scanners and trying to be stealthy, and then you're, like, in the dark area, and then enemies just randomly find you anyway, then that seems a little suspect. I don't know. Anyway, I don't hate the game, but I don't think it's must buy either, because there are a lot of glitches and bugs and things that need to be worked out. And for a game that has already been on Xbox for some time, and this is just an upgraded version of it, those types of things should have been fixed. I don't know that those type of things actually existed in the original game necessarily, but I have talked to a couple of friends about that have played it, and they said that they had some glitches, so I'm relying on their information to say that. However, I do enjoy the game. As for the price point, if it is $30 on Xbox, which I'm not certain that it is, I feel like that's a little overpriced. Granted, if this game was up to snuff when it comes to the graphics and everything, it would definitely be worth that and even more. But until they fix a lot of those things, and it's gonna be something that I would say I would wait until it goes on sale. But it's definitely a game that's worth checking out and potentially playing. No, I do actually kind of like the story. Granted, it is similar to other stories that you've seen in other games. But again, the sci-fi is very interesting to me, and so I enjoy those types of games all the way around. That's pretty much all I have to say about this one. I'm going to give this game a 6.5 out of 10, and I want to say that can definitely be improved relatively simply. I'm also going to point out that the achievements don't appear to unlock in this version of the game yet, and I don't know if that's because it's, I'm reviewing this the day before it comes out, so I don't know if that's because of that, or if it's because they're messed up. But I did what I assumed was good enough to get several achievements, and none of them were unlocking. So just keep that in mind if you do pick this up, that you might want to make sure to wait about the achievements. And I will note that I'm pretty sure we've had this game available to start playing for a few days, and so I would assume a lot of other content creators have too, and nobody on TA has actually registered an achievement for this game yet. Despite the fact that they show up in the game. So I don't know if that's because the achievements are broken, or if it's because that they're just not turned on, or what it is there. But usually when they show up on Xbox, they're usually turned on, so I don't know. At any rate, I didn't get any achievements while I played for the first 3 or 4 hours of the game that I played, so I can't really give you any advice on that at this point. But I will make a note if it doesn't work tomorrow when the game comes out to make a note to the developers. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, and have a nice day, guys.
There's an armory fabricator here if you want some extra firepower. You can use any Erebus tokens you find to unlock and upgrade weapons at these fabricators.